Hello everybody, this is Danny from Deep South Homestead. We're out here this morning. Went down to the cellar, started digging through some of our stash of our sweet potatoes. We check everything periodically, about once a month we go down and check. This is what we found. All of our sweet potatoes have begun to sprout, even our big ones. We had such a hot summer last year. The cellar stayed in the mid 70s most of the time. Sometimes it even got up to 80 degrees deep underground in there because the outside ambient temperature being drawn in there was just so hot. It never really cooled off until about November, to be honest with you. And as a result, the potatoes have thought maybe they've gone through a growing season or something, and now they're all sprouting. And yes, we've lost most all of our big sweet potatoes. I mean, we was able to salvage some, but a majority of them have started sprouting. So what we're going to be doing, putting these in the ground for slips rather than lose them. So that's what we're doing here today. Now, we are on our hugel bed here. The hugel bed is something that we created 3 years ago, and it was up about this high. We dug a deep ditch in the ground, filled it full of logs and stuff like that, 16 to 20 foot logs, probably 10 to 12 inches in diameter, and brush. Put a good bit of lime in it and stuff to help it start breaking down real good. And now it has dropped down to where it's only a little over a foot high. It's become some good, rich dirt. Now we're going to have to add a little bit of dirt back on top of this because it's just getting too low. And we took a transit and laid it off so that it drains properly, it holds the water right and everything like it's supposed to. But we're going to try something new this year. We're going to take our sweet potatoes and put them on the hugel bed to grow our slips. Now, we've never done this before. This is kind of a risky experiment for us because we tried our English peas here one year and lost every one of them. They did not produce. But we're hoping now that the hugel bed has 3 years of age on it that we can grow our sweet potatoes in it, and that the rotten logs don't have anything in it that's going to affect the woodiness of the potatoes, let's say. So we're going to take these things and we're going to lay them end on end. We're not taking the sprouts off of them. We're going to leave them because they'll continue to grow. We've created 3 deep furrows here. We're going to stack these potatoes in this. Anytime you're on a homestead, there's always those learning curves. Nobody knows it all. And that's what's happened to us this year. We're realizing that in the climate that we live in, where it stays so hot for so long, we're not going to be able to save our Irish potatoes. We're not going to be able to save a lot of our sweet potatoes because they go to sprouting. So we're going to have to learn to do more canning of the sweet potatoes and the Irish potatoes than what we've been doing in order to make our harvest continue. Now these here, I know a lot of people are going to probably ask what variety these are. These are my variety. I don't know what they are actually. I got these potatoes from a gentleman probably 26 years ago off of his little homestead. Do not know what variety they are. All I know is they bear like crazy. That's all I know. They have never let us down. They have always done well. And we are going to get them in the ground here and show y'all a little bit about, this is sad, guys. This is a huge potato, and it's just all gone to sprouts. We tried to cut into a few of them to eat, and they were hard and pippy on the inside, so, so we're not going to be able to do that. So we're just going to have to put them in the ground here and see if we can grow some slips out of them and get some benefits from them. We don't want to lose them. One thing we have discovered going through our sweet potatoes, the size that seems to do the best and last the longest without sprouting is a potato that's a little bit smaller than the one I have in my hand here. These seem to hold up better. The big ones, like these old Wiggins here, they get real soft and spongy feeling. These little long, slender ones stay good, hard, and firm. So from this point on, we learned a lesson that we're going to want to keep those that are about 1.5 inches to 2 inches in diameter and maybe 6 to 8 inches long for long-term storage. Anything any larger needs to be canned. Now, one of the things that really has amazed us, guys, is that these are the potatoes we usually save for slips. These little small, slender ones. They have no sprouts on them. They have no sign of sprouting. So, you know, it's making us maybe rethink some of the things we've been doing. Maybe some of the small ones we should be saving for storage rather than the old big ones. The old big ones we should be canning, I'm guessing, because the smaller ones, they're doing fine. I mean, they're still hard. They're not soft in any kind of way. You know, human nature tried to save the biggest and the best for ourselves, you know, to eat later. But we've learned that the smaller ones hold up better for storage. Okay, guys, we've got all the potatoes in the ground here now. And what we're going to do is, because these are already sprouting, which I don't like this idea, but we're going to go ahead and take our hands and kind of be careful and make sure we get the sprouts kind of sticking up on it. You know, and kind of take advantage of what nature has already started and keep them up. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go take the tractor, because our hugel bed has settled down so much. I'm going to go get some more dirt, or either I may even get bark, ground up mulch, and bring in here and put on top of this, so that these do pretty good. Right now I'm just taking my hands and just lightly covering what I can up, because we don't really have enough dirt here to cover them all up good. And what you're really after on a slip is a root system. That's what you're really after. You want to be able to, when the slips get about 6 to 8 inches tall, you want to be able to pull them loose from the potato and pull them up and have a good root system, and the roots pull up out of the loose mulch really good. So that's why we may use mulch on it rather than going and putting dirt, something that might compact down on it. Okay, guys, what we've got here is we're putting out our mulch. This stuff has been rotten for over a year now. We're going to cover the potatoes up with it. Because it's staying good and wet, and these need a good bit of moisture. We're taking out any pieces of wood that might not have completely rotted yet. They go back to the composting pile. This consists of pine straw, hardwood limbs, and all that has been ground up by a wood chipper. Okay, guys, we've got a good 4-inch deep mulch bed on top of this with our composted wood chips from a year ago. And we're going to leave it at that and watch the weather. And if it looks like it's going to turn cold, we'll have to figure out something to go over it, because we don't want a freeze or a frost to actually kill these draws and ruin our potatoes. So thank y'all for coming along on this portion of the journey with us. Hope you've enjoyed us planting our sweet potatoes to make our sweet potato slips to plant for this coming spring. Thank you from Deep South Homestead.